Alrighty, looks like we've got a bunch of expansions. Makes sense because it is Saturday. Landscapes are Triumphal Arch and Tax. Artifact is Treasure Chest, which goes with Swashbuckler. Okay, so for draw, there's Swashbuckler, Stable, Seer, Moat, Advisor. For villages, only Village is Scepter. That's a pretty constrained village because it only plays things in the buy phase. So, for example, replaying Stables, you're getting plus action technically, but you can't use it because you're already in your buy phase at that point. So it's mostly just good at replaying payload cards, which I don't see great targets for. Trashing, non-existent entirely, and the only plus buy is Rice, which is pretty expensive. Okay. Hmm. I don't actually think the relative lack of actions is a big problem here. Just looking at the terminal action cards, you get Swashbuckler, Moat, and Bureaucrat. Bureaucrat super weak, doesn't matter. Swashbuckler, not a bad draw card. You'd try to play with it if there were a good village, but there's also plenty of other draw. Stable, Seer, and Advisor are all non-terminal, so you could just get by without this. And I think that means you can just play with a single terminal, or even no terminal action cards in your deck, and then not worry about the villages super much. The lack of trashing is a bit of a constraint. I mean, stables can kind of sift past the coppers. Chariot Race is probably better than average in a kingdom where there's no trashing because there's a decent chance your opponent top decks a copper and then you can get a bunch of points. Seer maybe could help line that up because it shows you your top three cards. So you put a 5 cost card on top, then play your Chariot Race, for example. And then plus buy, a bit limited. What buffs Rice here? Skirmisher and Bureaucrat are both attacks. Neither looks very good to me. Skirmisher is just competing against 5 cost draw cards, which you want a lot more. Scepter is a command card. This wasn't always true. The command type got added to it retroactively. So your Rice is either going to be worth 2 for like action and treasure, or maybe you had a Scepter at some point just to buff the Rice. If you have 2 Rices and add a Scepter, the Scepter is basically like 4 coins. That's not amazing. I think maybe you just accept that Rice is not going to be very strong, but it's the only plus buy here. I got the 4/3. Uh, hmm. The goal is to hit 5 here. Probably the correct answer is just double silver. I don't super want a bunch of silvers, though, I don't think. There's just a ton of junk that you're going to have to draw through. So I think I'm mostly just want the deck to be draw cards and Rice. I think maybe, what about double Chariot Race as an opening? I can't imagine that's a good opening on average, like in the typical kingdom. But it's a little bit of a nothing opening. I'm not unhappy having a bunch of 3s and 4s in the deck. I'll hit 5 later and add Seer, and then having Chariot Races and stuff will be. I think I'm just going to take 2 Chariot Races. That might be silly. We'll see. It's definitely not good at hitting 5, but I think I'm like I want a bunch of 5s, but it's not like I need to hit the 5 ASAP to start trashing or something. So I think I could live with being a little bit slower. Because it turns out I hit 5 anyway. Okay. And what's the first 5 cost card here? Probably Seer. Too early for stables, I don't think. Cycling past your coppers actually isn't great when copper is the main payload in your deck. Stables will be good later. Skirmisher, I don't care about the attack. I could have a Swashbuckler. If you play with 1 Swashbuckler, that's your terminal action card. You probably play it towards the end of your turn. It's drawing more cards on average early in the game than any of these other things. Seer will be better later. I think it's either Swashbuckler or Seer. I'm going to take the Swashbuckler. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Got 1 coffer. Got 1 victory point. 2 doesn't do a whole lot here. I'm going to attack Swashbuckler for sure. I don't want 2 of them. Animations. Maybe it's just this kingdom. I don't think I've changed my settings at all. I think this kingdom just has a lot of things that do a lot of moving, like the chariots and the advisors and whatnot. Um, Seer. I'm actually not sure if Seer versus Stables, which one is better here on average. I also should be thinking about like which. I need at least 2 action card piles that I'm clicking consistently because that's going to be a lot of extra points. Looks like the bot has just been pile driving the chariot races. I thought I was a little bit early on those and almost empty. Maybe the bot's just going to take like a bunch of chariots and then advisors, perhaps. Taking the first rice now. Yeah, so it looks like it's the chariot races, I think. The bot plays a bunch of chariot races really fast, and then the animation just starts stacking up, and it's got to resolve revealing the chariot race over and over. So I lost the chariot race split, not the biggest deal. It means the bot will be able to easily get more Triumph Large points if it had 6 copies of any other action card. Whereas I'll be like capped at 4, unless I get 6 copies of like 2 other things. I'll take an advisor. Okay, I think I do want to draw the swashbuckler. Probably. If I just play chariot, draw copper, I hit 5, 6, 7 money. That's nothing special. Yeah, and this is gonna win me a chariot race and get me a point. 8 money. I think just 2 more advisors. Could be 1 more rice. Not drawing consistently yet. Add its first price. That makes sense. So I've got an estate on top. I think I'm probably just gonna play the chariot race. I win if the bot has a copper. I mean, I could pull off and play the chariot race at a random point in time. Maybe that's better. I do have a lot of coppers down there. Let's just do this. Okay, with the chariot race. Do I don't think I care about conserving the coffers very much, right? I don't think it's realistic to get to treasure chest, nor is gold the most important card here. So I think I'm happy to spin this to hit 5 and just take another seer. And another seer. Okay, so I've got an expensive card on top, so I should play Chariot first and then Advisor afterwards. Forgot taxed stables. Interesting. Aren't you the one going for stables? I think Triumph Large pushes you a bit to kind of stay in one lane and get a bunch of copies of 1 or 2 of them rather than mixing up the draw. So it seems weird to me that the bot is taxing stables, the card which it seems to want more than I do. I think a second rice now. I think I'm going to pitch the rice. The bot's only got the 1 copy. And I normally pitch the draw cards because if you don't pitch the draw cards, they draw back around. Yeah, okay, they did anyway. That's on me. It's like probably I should have discarded the chariot race. I thought there was a decent chance that if I just pitched the rice, they didn't get back around to it. And that's like the single most important card for them to find because it's their only plus buy in their entire deck. But as it turns out, they did draw it anyway. Alas. I did also do the same thing to me. Annoyingly, to better effect, because I didn't get back around to the rice. This is the other copy. Okay. Just 2 more seers, maybe? Could be a seer and a scepter to buff the 2 rice that I have. It just makes the scepter a 4-cost card, or a 4-coin card. Could be 1 more rice even. I think I'm just going to take 2 seers, make sure I'm drawing everything, because I'm not quite yet. There's rice on top, so I should lead with the chariot race. Let's play 1 more chariot race, then an advisor to skip past a bunch of these coppers. This is a kingdom where the order of the cards matters a decent bit. What do they have on top? They have an estate on top. So I'll draw the seer, use the seer to draw the rice. An advisor again, skip a bunch of junk. I'm drawing everything. Okay, so for sure I want at least 1 more of these. And maybe advisor plus a scepter. Or advisor plus another. I think, yeah, scepter's fine. Oh, this is not a great hand. I was thinking if I end up in a situation where I've got a bunch of stuff in the like a bunch of rice in the discard, you could always scepter the swashbuckler to draw it. This is abysmal. Go ahead and tax rice. I got more of those in the bot at the moment. Probably need them more desperately. I think I was in the lead. Maybe not so much anymore after that dud turn. I got rice on top. I'll lead with a chariot race. That's not great, but there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. He's gonna play this for 2 money. Advisor. Wait a second. Oh, that was worth points. Let me count these cards. So if the advisor scored me points, I'm guessing that means I have what, like 5 advisors and 5 seer and some number of seers now? I must have more seers than advisors because I bought the seers and didn't score any additional points. So I think extra advisors here are going to be worth points for me. Well, that sure was a draw. I guess I draw a seer off the top. I'm going to play one more seer. It'll discard the rice, but it is a stop card, so I think that's not the end of the world. Let's draw the other seer. Ooh, come on now, be cooperative. Gonna replay chariot race. That worked out swimmingly. There was some chance it drew the rice, whereas advisor certainly couldn't draw it, and seer would give me about the same chance of drawing it. And the rest of those cards, I think, are mostly there's one copper down there, mostly good cards that the bot pitched, so I don't mind tough decking them either. Okay, yeah, sure enough, the advisor is worth points. My time to take a province now, and just one more 5 cost card. I don't think I want to lower these too much. I'll just take stables. I'm not really sold on the Sears. I think stables might just be better here. I don't know. Maybe if I had more chariot races, I would want the Sears more. I thought took a million of those and then went for stables. Uh, oh, the Seer. Okay, the Seer. I got 2 coppers on top. That's a good time to play the advisor. You want to play the advisors before you trigger a shuffle because it's going to put a bunch of good cards down there into the shuffle. Okay. Play 2 chariots. Then an advisor. And a chariot. Okay. Drawing everything. It's 2 coins. 1, 2, 3. And I guess that's the win, isn't it? I mean, I won this one. I don't love how I played it. Really. I went more for the Seers. Maybe that was better. I'm not entirely convinced that it's better. I think there's a good chance Stables might be the better card here. Seer plays a little bit nicer with the chariot races, but I didn't have most of those. Advisor is pretty awkward in a deck with so much junk. Uh, I mean, I did win. I'm not at all convinced that this was the better deck. I think perhaps some of the choices the bot made could easily have been the better choices on average.